everybody. It's August 9th, 2021. My name's Piano Matty B. That is Scaramucci's. And this is your Morning TA. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing, all the humble opinion of this piano. Zamboni bringing the data. The Fear and Greed Index is up to 65. From Friday's 52, which is definitely firmly planted into a state of greed. Yes, the greed seems to be growing. And for me, when I see the greed growing, it's like an engine light that keeps going on in my car that I try my best to ignore. Or somehow convince myself that the light itself must be a malfunction of a malfunction. And nosy Miss Newsbum's social media market sentiment in a rent-controlled apartment in Queens remains at 70, which means every time someone talks about crypto and all the intrawebs, it has a 70% positivity rate. Also, it's Monday, and I like to check in with the Antilindicator, which is an indicator that tells us if the price of Bitcoin is too expensive or cheap, based on the MVRV, a chart which gives me a headache looking at it. So we'll let my bargain gumshoe Auntie Linda let us know, and based on a 4 score, anything under 1 being super cheap, and anything 3.5 and above being too expensive. Auntie Linda says it's a 2.3, which is still kind of cheap. But she added, at this rate, she'll be keeping her eye on the price, whatever that means. Now, every now and then I mine the comment section for some backpats and ego spanks. And I notice a repetitive question. Piano Matty B, why do you only analyze the Bitcoin charts? And that's a good question. And the simple answer is that right now, and I've said this many times, we're in the early stages of Bitcoin and crypto, so Bitcoin is the market mover. And all other coins are a function thereof. If Bitcoin goes up, the other coins go up. If Bitcoin goes down, the other coins go down. Now, when we see a decoupling of certain assets from Bitcoin, and we will, we'll have another chart to analyze. That being said, oh, what the heck? Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart of Shiba Inu. Just kidding. Over on the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, let's see how our road trip to 50K this weekend played out. Well, first, spoiler alert, we didn't get there. Nope, but we did, however, cruise through the 42.5, which a lot of people were saying was a point of high resistance. But this humble piano didn't think so. It basically stopped for a pee break and then quickly jumped back into the car, locked the doors, and carried on its way. From there, it hit 43.6, which really wasn't on my radar as a point of interest. But maybe it had a nice mom-pop antique store that sold custom-made bird bath mailbox combos. I don't know. But whatever the case is, we spent quite a bit of time there experiencing some decent resistance. And after a sizable rejection, the bull said, listen, we've come this far and we're not turning back. Do you want to go home with just a couple of custom bird bath mailboxes in your trunk? Or do you want to tell everyone that you hit 50? That's right, 50K, so let's do it. And they hopped back in the car, broke through the 43.6 resistance, and headed on up to 45K. Now, we knew that there would be some heavy resistance here because this is where our old flame, the 200 MA, lives. There's some old relationship ghosts we're going to have to face. And we're going to have to face them with our current significant other in the car, pretending that we're not facing them, which is always fun. And although we wicked up and over, there was a moment at the gas station where, what do you know? Our current significant other grabbed the bathroom key attached to a ruler, and who was coming out of it? That's right, our old flame, the 200 MA. It was all kinds of awkward. Some, how do you know each other's? And some, why do you look at her that way? And some, Do you think she's pretty? And at that point, you just had to jump into the car and head back to Winnipeg. And from there, we had a pretty quiet ride back down to the 43.6. Grabbed another birdbath mailbox for the cabin and continued down to a wick of 42.7, which has become a nice area of support. And it's always nice when resistance becomes support. So we have a tale of two wicks on the daily. One is up and over the 200 MA at 50K and one is down at 42.7. And we all know about my old wives' tale. Let's say it together. That which once wicked will get candlesticked. But now the question is, which wick? Now this is where the fundamentals come into play. We have the regulatory FUD coming Tuesday. And that's if they can get their together and actually put a vote. Which is hard when you're a relic dinosaur of a bygone era, trying to defend your corrupt money machine that has been robbing the people of their hard-earned money for centuries. But I think we have to pause and let the significance of the vote actually set in. Bitcoin and crypto assets are now officially such an unstoppable force that the relic dinosaurs are getting nervous. Although the majority have absolutely no clue what any of it means, they just know that it smells like losing power. And as such, will do everything they can to try to hold it up. But because the majority of them have absolutely no clue what it does or how it even works, they don't understand that they can't stop it. It's actually comical, really, and sad, that our psychopathic elected elites would go to such lengths to stifle innovation and the future prosperity of the American people. And listen, if this bill goes through and it's bad news for Bitcoin, it's not like the hammer drops and boom, new rules immediately. No, these are relic dinosaurs. It will be easily a year or two before any of it actually pans out. And by then, Bitcoin will have rocked their diapers off, rendering the bill and their intellectual capacity to understand Bitcoin and crypto effectively moot. And I love the word moot, because nothing sums up these relic dinosaurs as moot. Of course, the blind, nervous Nellies who live their whole life with their hands firmly planted above the sell button will of course think the sky is falling and we'll see a dip. But that's just the Darwinian exit of the weak hands. And I'm still shocked there are still weak hands, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, who are these retail sellers glued to the news and social media, being smothered in colonizer blankets of FUD, not knowing up from down, just shuzbutting their way through a life of fear and compliance? But don't get me started. It's a new day, people. The news is not your friend, and the powers that be aren't looking out for your best interests. And that's why you're here. We're building a parallel structure to rid ourselves and our children of tyrannic totalitarians who wear diapers. So remember, we're playing the same game as our psychopathic elected elites. That's right, it's a long game. So zoom out and have a fantastic day. BitBoy Crypto Morning Tea. Ch-ch-ch-ching.